What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. This is going to be a continuation of the last video. It's filmed on the same day. I was going to call it a night, but I decided I'm not done annoying my neighbors yet because it's only midnight, and I had another thought, something I could do that wouldn't take too long, hopefully, and I want to show this to you guys and what I got in mind. I've got to come up with a way to put this pin here on this ramp. I want to make the ramps stand up on the back of the trailer, so if I haul something along, I can put a bar on here, put this pin on, and then come back here and put the pin so that I can put a bar on to hold that ramp up. So I was looking for a bracket or something to do that with, and I got these equalizers, these old equalizers I took off over there, I threw in the scrap pile, and I got to looking, and they're the right shape already, and they have a hole in them. I don't know what that hole is for. Right here, there's nothing goes in there, but it just happens to be the perfect right size for that pin to go right in. So I'm going to take, I've got these lines marked up here. I'm going to cut this with a Matabo and cut across, and I can make two of these out of this one equalizer, which is what I need, and weld this on to that ramp, one on each side, or one on each ramp, each side of the trailer there, and that will allow me to be able to put this through and put a nut on the back side of it right there like that. Alright, we have our bracket made right there. As you can see, you got to make one more of them, and probably clean that up just a touch. I've really got to get me a plasma cutter. We'll save up one of these days and get one, hopefully. But this is going to come back here, and I got to figure out the geometry on this, exactly where I want my ramp bar to mount. But basically, this is going to go up in here like this, and weld up inside there, and the pin will go in the middle of it, and my bar will go right on that, and that'll work great. You'll be able to put the nut up in the back side of here, and then screw the pin onto it, and hopefully you'll be able to get a wrench in there. If not, we'll put a pipe wrench on the pin, or we will put a rod through the pin hole. It's had a hole in this pin here. We'll put a rod through there to keep from boogering it up on the outside. But if we can get a pipe wrench right here, we can still snug it up that way. Either way, whatever we got to do, I'm going to go ahead and mark this other one out. I'm sure I'm glad they conveniently made that hole right there, and that's just going to work out perfect. Let me get this other one marked out here with the square. This should be 2.5 inches wide by whatever this spring hanger is. I think it's about 2.5 on the inside, makes it 3 on the outside. So 2.5 by 3, whatever it is across this way. I think about 1.5 inches, 1.75 inches. That's going to allow that to go through there right there. And we got just about the right clearance for that all to work out. So let me get this other one marked out and cut out, and then we'll get this welded on. Alright guys, so I need to figure out about where I've got to have this mount at. I'm thinking, just about where this gun is at here. The bottom of this cross brace is 24 inches. It's probably a pretty good spot, but I want to try to hold this ramp on. Take a look at it with a tape measure here about what the bar is going to be. Pretty close to straight, like that. Make that length work. Over there. See, I just got to get my angle here, because if you get too much here, you're not really going to have enough angle to hold it enough. So I just need to figure out exactly. I don't want to come way up here, because then if I'm hauling something long that's that wide, then the bar is going to be here. That would be stronger going out that way. But I want to be able to shorten it up somewhat. So I'm thinking down in here would be pretty good. Like that right there. Be able to put it in there. That's just over 3 foot long. I've got established that roughly from the bottom of the ramp here, about 20 inches in the center of my pinhole. It's kind of what I'm looking for, somewhere thereabouts. We'll take our bracket here, hold it up here, kind of like that right there. Center of the pinhole. I think this is 2.5 wide, so that's 1 1/4 off of that. So I need to make my mark at. I'm going to need to get a mark on the side of the ramp probably, but it's got to be perfect. Alright, so I got me a little mark there. Grounded through the we'll try that again. So I made 2 more of these things, and I'm going to put them up here. I think I'm going to put one right here on each side, as well as that one there. And I'm trying to figure out my bar length. I'm going to cut this and figure out what length bar I need that'll go here to there, and it'll be the right length when it turns the other way to hold the ramp up. So that's the geometry I got to get right. Now I could just cut this one here and put a pin there, and not worry about it, and then when I get ready to lay the ramps down, just take the bar completely off and put it in the truck or put it in the front of the trailer in my basket up there. But I would like for it to stay on the ramp so that I don't lose it and lay it down and put it somewhere. If I do it the way I'm thinking, I should be able to just pull it off on this end, pop it over, lay the ramp down, and then flip it back. Or if I want to stand the ramp up, say if I load something on here long, I just flip my bar to the other position, and the bar will never have to leave from this spot right here. So that's what I'm trying to accomplish. So I've got to, I'm going to tack these on, and I'm going to get a bar and cut it to the length I think it needs to be, and kind of hold it up here and take a look at it, and then I'll drill the holes in it and get everything lined up before I weld everything in place. All right, we got our 3/8 by 2.5 inch flat bar up here, and I cut it 32 inches long, hoping that's pretty close. And I've got to put a hole in here for this pin, and I've got a 7/8 hole saw right here to do so with, and a little bit of PV plaster, because some oil is better than no oil. Let's see what we can get going here. So I don't drill through my new floor plate. Probably gonna drop a speed, and I've got to figure out a way of holding this here. I just don't want to spin around. done. So I got both holes drilled in it. I'm going to whack these corners off right here like this at a 45, and then put a radius on it a little bit, and we'll have this bar made. The wrong way. So I have cut off the rub rail and one stake pocket to mount my pin here on the bottom. Got it where I want it. Got the bar the right length on that way. Got the ramp standing almost vertical, kind of tilted forward. That's usually about how you see them. Somewhere right in there. It's pretty close. Now what I got to see is when I take the bar off and lay the ramp down, I've got to figure out where to mount my other mount out here when I lay it down, and I may have to cut off another stake pocket in order to do that. So I'm gonna lay it down and see what we got here. All right, you can see we're gonna have to take off another stake pocket. I thought we would, because that other mount's gonna have to go right in here, which means this bar's got to come down and it's hitting the stake pocket here. So I'm going to have to take that off. I'll probably cut this bar right here somewhere and then bend it back to the frame and weld it, and just not have any stake pockets back here, I suppose, because they're going to interfere with everything. There's not a whole lot you can do back this way anyway. I could move a stake pocket here if that really doesn't do anything for me. I could weld one right back above this light right here. I'm not sure how much that's going to do for me either. I have to look at it when I put my ramp back up. I'm not sure. I'll take a look at it and see what I think whenever I get it done here. Like I say, I'm just going to cut this right now, cut that one off. I'll go ahead and do this, and then I will fab my rail back around my bar, I guess, if I even put one back on it. I may not even put one back on it. So let me cut this off and I'll see what I got. Well, that's a complete fail. This is not gonna work. The reason is these ramps won't come over any further. I thought they would come over and lay on top of this. Most of them will. These won't. I'll show you why in just a second. So that makes this flat bar here not be able to go in any further to go to the pin there because it hits the frame rail, as you can see. And so, kind of pointless to cut that off, so I'm going to weld it back on so that it matches the other side. And the reason the ramp won't slide over, I didn't pay this any attention, is because right here you have a bracket that holds it. I mean, I could cut this bracket off and move it over and all that, but I really don't want to go through all that. Most of these ramps will come over and lay flat right there on the edge that I've seen. The way these are set up, they won't, so I'm going to weld the stake pocket back on in the same place, weld it back up, and tie everything back in, and just use this bar for when I need the ramps to stand up, and not worrying about to put it here another way, I suppose, is what I'm thinking. I could drill a hole and put and just store my bar here. Could do that, I suppose, but I don't know. I may just throw the bar in the toolbox, kind of what I'm thinking, and weld my stake pocket back on. But I could put a pin right there and do it that way. I'll think about it and see what I want to do here. Alright guys, so I wound up, I decided to put the stake pocket back on, and the reason is, if I put another pin up here and I make it so that bar has a place to sit, if that bar gets bent, which they all do, it's not going to fit there. Whereas if it gets bent, you know, the ramp will just come in and compensate for it when you got the ramp standing up. But if you put a pin here, that bar, if it gets bent, it's going to be a little shorter. It's not going to want to fit, and I think it's going to cause an issue, more aggravation. So I just welded the old stake pocket back on here, welded the flat bar back together, ground it flat, pieced it all back together here just like that, and then I went to the other side and I cut the other side right here like this, cut it right there, cut this stake pocket out and did that. I'll take you around here and show you. And then I have got to finish this side up. I've got to make another bar, and I've got to drill a pinhole here wherever it is on the other side. I think it's right here between these two. I'll have to measure and see where I'm at, but drill a hole here, put the pin there, put the pin there. Everything else is done here. I did not cut this little piece of flat bar here off. I just run a weld down it and make it look like it serves a purpose, because all I have to cut with is a Metabo wheel, and there's been a lot more trouble than it's worth. So it does add a little bit of protection to the corner of it. I suppose if you bump something, it kind of helps that light out and keeps from catching that pin so much. So that's the reason I did it like that. But I will do this another day, finish that up. I'm not going to film any of it. Just going to wrap this video up. I just had to add that pin there, add a pin there, and make one more piece of flat bar here, the same dimensions as this one here, out of this. And then I will just when the ramps are not in the up position, I will throw these in the front basket up there and keep up with them that way. If I lose one, it's not a big deal to make another one. It's just flat bar. So kind of cut those off for nothing, but anyways, no big deal. I'm going to get everything picked up out here. It's 3:45 in the morning. That took a lot longer than I figured it was going to, which I knew it was going to take a while to figure that out, what I wanted to do here. And I was afraid it was going to turn into something like this. Because I really wanted the bar to be able to go on here with them in the down position and in the up position. But I mean, I could have bent this bar probably and made that happen somehow, But then when your bar gets damaged, it creates a lot more complications in making a new bar and all that. So if I do it like this, it's just a straight piece of bar with 2 holes in it and the corners rounded. It's not an issue to make another one, and you don't even have to round the corners if you don't have to, or if you don't want to. It'll go on there regardless. And so that'll be easy. And like I say, I'll just throw the bars in the front of the trailer up there and the little wire mesh basket in between the gooseneck. Call it a day. Most of the time they'll probably get left down or whichever position, I don't know. I'll just have to see how it goes. But as I say, I'm probably not even making any sense. It's like 3:45 in the morning. So I'm going to wrap this up, get everything rolled up, and get some sleep, and worry about this in the next video. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time.